Okay, so this guy Punz has now had allegations levied against him, and the allegations levied against him also have some tidbits about George and some of the other Minecrafters. Let's I guess we can just read it together. It says, my experience with Luke, parentheses, Punz. Content warning, toxic relationship, racism, dubious consent. I know in the past I said I would no longer speak about him publicly, and when talking about my experiences with abuse and emotional mistreatment, I begged to keep it anonymous, but after reflecting on this for a while and seeing so many incredibly smart and strong women tell their stories, it's given me the strength to say his name. It's really scary to talk about because of the copious levels of harassment I've received from his fans in the past, so if this spreads or gets out of hand, I will simply log off. Oh, study time. Thank you for the raid. Hello, raiders. Welcome, 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 guys. At dream servers like Epstein Island. I mean, at this rate, yeah. Yeah. We're just reading up on the most recent allegations that have been levied against Minecrafters. Okay, where were we? Also, I just want to say on the topic of harassment, you really don't see the level of harassment unless you're the one experiencing it. Because I think for most of us, when you see people getting harassed, I think we take people at face value and assume that they're not lying and stuff. But when you are the person receiving the harassment, you're getting emails that no one can see, you're getting DMs that no one can see, and you see almost every single reply to your tweets. It's just most people aren't scrolling all the way to the bottom. But if it's your tweet, you probably are scrolling all the way to the bottom. And so it kind of is always worse than it seems. Just as a bit of context. I'm a fan of Andy. I remember this TikTok of hers from a year ago. Okay, let's watch this really quickly, and then we will continue reading. Okay, so again, just to start over really quickly, this is Andy, and she is coming out to speak about this guy, Punz, who is another Minecraft YouTuber that is friends with a lot of the other Minecraft YouTubers that have recently been ousted as predators. So right now the current list stands at Wilbur Soot, George Not Found, and Punz. I think when Shelby spoke out, I think it inspired a lot of other people to speak out as well, which is very cool. Now, let's continue. It's really scary to talk about because the copious levels of harassment I've received from his fans in the past. So if this spreads or gets out of hand, I will simply log off. If you read my last post, I nicknamed him One. So aside from everything I said there were a lot of things that I didn't include because they would have made it obvious it was him, and it could potentially it could potentially backfire on me. So I'm very afraid to post this, but I'm going to do it scared anyways, because it's not fair that he just gets to go and live his life worry-free as if he didn't practically ruin mine. Because I already made a very lengthy post about him, I won't include everything I said last time to avoid being redundant, but if I repeat myself, please bear with me. Starting off at the beginning of our relationship, that's when I was getting copious amounts of hate and harassment from his fan base, warranted or not. He decided that our relationship must be kept private. He said it was to protect me from his fan base, when in reality, it was to protect himself. It was so he wouldn't get the backlash I was getting. This is funny because one of the things I got called out for was saying the B slur, derogatory term used against Mexicans and Latinos. I won't get into the nuance of it. I could say it I won't get into the nuance of if I could say it or not as a Puerto Rican, because that's discourse that does not pertain to this specific issue. Which, as someone who's been friends with a lot of Hispanic people, my understanding was just that, like, most people who are Hispanic are okay with it, but I don't know. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not sure. I don't say it. Um, I had a Hispanic friend that said it the way that, like, you might have a gay friend that says the F slur. But you're allowed to, I think. So, but also this is discourse that's not related. And I don't really, my dad likes to call himself that. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it, and not for me to decide. We say it a lot to each other as a joke. That's been my experience. I've seen, again, this is just my experience. A lot of Hispanic people, specifically Mexican people that I've met, say it jokingly. Again, the same way that I think gay people use the F slur and like throw it around and stuff. And just with close friends. But again, regardless, not important. Not relevant to discourse, not worth covering. Austin's favorite word, yeah. 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 Okay. And plus, I do think that there's a difference between being white and saying it and being Hispanic and saying it. So, yeah. I don't think I've ever heard any other Hispanics use it in a way that wasn't a joke, but also half derogatory sometimes. I don't know. Let's continue. Here we go. But you know who definitely can't say it? A white boy from Massachusetts. When I was getting canceled for this and getting thousands of tweets calling me names, he decided that was the perfect time to say, I mean, you are a beasler. Aren't you? My little beasler. He said this completely unprompted. I was in the process of writing my apology and he just said that. I tell you this because I immediately shut him down and told him that there was no universe in which it was okay for him to say that word, and especially not one where he could call me that. While I was reprimanding him, he was smiling and laughing. He apparently found it amusing to call me a slur. Regardless, he gave me a half-assed apology and said he wouldn't do it again. And he didn't, but this wasn't the only time he was weirdly racist to me. This was my first time being in an international relationship, so I was led to believe this was normal by all the white people around me at the time. I'm just going to make the claim and say going to make the claim and say that unless your friend explicitly tells you to say it, and they say that it would be funny if you said it, and they say that they don't care about you saying it, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Because I'm not going to tell somebody else who they are and aren't allowed to give the pass to. That's fucking weird. I would never tell, for example, someone who is black, you shouldn't be allowing people to say the N-word in front of you. Like, that is some white woman energy. I'm not doing that, okay? But there are probably contexts that's fine, but only when you are given the pass or whatever. Imagine calling your black girlfriend your little N-word. You're right. You're right. That is the equivalent. My little B word. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It sounds so much worse when you say that. Wow. That's continuing. Oh, I forgot to watch the clip that someone sent. The TikTok that she's made. Go ahead, babe, says, okay, but do you promise to not threaten me if I don't have sex with you? What the fuck? Who does that? I missed it. What? Baby Gree, thank you so much for the tier 1. It was a TikTok where She's talking to her now partner saying, "You're not going to threaten me if I don't have sex with you." And her now partner saying, "What the fuck? Who does that?" And then the clip ends with her saying, "Shout out to my ex," describing Punz. I've had an ex say, "You're my girlfriend. I should be able to touch you whenever I want." Let's continue. But sometimes my Spanish accent would come out and he would make fun of me the way that I pronounced some words. He also refused to visit me in Puerto Rico when I lived there or come meet my family when I really wanted to because he, quote, didn't like the heat or, quote, it's dangerous there, isn't it? Once, while we were watching season 2 of Bridgerton, he implied that the Sharma sisters were too dark for him to be attracted to them. So up until that sentence, I was like, maybe he's just being edgy. You know how, like, there are a couple paths. There's like a fork in the road, a couple forks in the road as like a teenage white boy. Like one of the teenage white boy forks in the road is like become a 4chaner that says slurs for fun because you think it's edgy. You're not racist and you think everybody else is joking. And then eventually you grow up and realize, oh, you guys aren't joking. That's crazy. I am going to stop engaging in this because I thought we were all on the same page, that it was just a funny joke. I'm looking at people like iDubbbz, for example, where iDubbbz thought everybody else was on the same page about it being a joke. And I was like, hey, maybe that was him. Maybe he's just being edgy, which, to be clear, that's still wrong. I don't care if you're like edgy racism. That's still wrong. However, there is a big jump between edgy racism, because that's someone that's salvageable in my eyes. I think that that person is very salvageable because you just need to explain to them that, like, yeah, you might think it's funny, but you are contributing to harm. There's a jump from that and, no, these people are too dark for me to date them. No, you're just racist. No, you're just full-blown, you're just full-blown racist. All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. I thought a lot of sexist jokes were ironic when I was a kid, and then I realized they aren't joking. Because there is like dumb kids being racist, but they think that they're being funny and they don't realize that they're just being racist. And then there is people being racist because they're racist. That dude must be blind because the Sharma sisters are fucking stunning. I don't even know who the Sharma sisters are. Let me look him up. Bridgerton. They're not. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Is it different? Can someone... I'm seeing a lot of different pictures. Is it this? Are these them? I don't know this show. I don't watch Bridgerton. I'm not a white woman. These women are gorgeous. Huh? Huh? Dude, the woman on the right, she's making me feel bald with how good her hairline is. Look at me. I look like I'm fucking balding next to her. Oh my God. Put that away. You guys didn't see that. You guys didn't see the Aspen hairline just now. Just pretend like you didn't see that. Okay. For anyone tuning in, we're just covering allegations against this guy, Punz, Minecraft YouTuber, and him being racist. This hurt me because they're brown-skinned girls. I'm a brown-skinned girl. And then this combined with the fact that he told me once that he wasn't attracted to me made me feel like my skin color was unattractive. These are only a few examples I can think of at the moment, but I'm sure that there were more. Our relationship ended in 2022, so some of my memory is a bit hazy. But I do remember feeling inferior to him throughout the relationship because he was white and I wasn't. I chalk that up to all the microaggressions I had to deal with because I never felt that way around white people before. Another thing I had to endure was him constantly making me feel like he was embarrassed to be with me. Because I was canceled, he didn't want to associate with me that much. He did defend me on multiple occasions, I'll give him that, but he only did it because his name was getting dragged in the mud along with mine. Excusing my actions made him look better for being around me. In reality, he didn't really care because he was such a big content creator and someone I looked up to professionally. I took his advice as law. He told me to tone down my personality, to keep a low profile, to change things about myself to be more palatable to his audience. The same audience that spoke about me like, quote, "The pussy can't be that good, Punz, please stop defending her." I know male content creators who have told their partners that like they should try to be less controversial online, but it's out of a place of like good intentions of like, you don't understand the harassment you're going to get is not worth it. And I don't want to see you dealing with that shit because people on the internet don't have the capacity for nuance. And I don't want to see you having to deal with that harassment. And I'll tell you, those dudes would never let a chat message like that slide. Ever. Because there is, you're just being a piece of shit. And then there's, no, really, you don't understand. The internet is a harsh place and these people will never forget. I just don't want to see you dealing with harassment for forever. So if you just try your best to keep a low profile, people will get over it. They'll move on and you're good. Let's continue. He made me feel like
I can't believe this horrible woman is sharing Punz ending the relationship speedrun strategies.
He made me feel like if his audience liked me, he would be public about our relationship and stop hiding it. He told me the reason why he didn't want to keep our relationship a secret, or sorry, why he wanted to keep our relationship a secret was because he didn't want to get hate for it. But this wasn't true. On my 20th birthday, he went to Las Vegas for a Twitch Rivals event. That night, I asked him to FaceTime him to say goodnight, and he refused because he was in a hotel room with his friends and he didn't want them to know that we were together. It was as if my mere presence or the utterance of my name was a source of embarrassment for him, and he didn't let me forget it. It wasn't just a public thing at that point. He didn't want people to know that we were together, period. This was devastating to me because I would talk to all my friends about him. I was so proud to be with him, and I was just one more problem to him. He made me feel so small and insignificant just because his fans didn't like me. I hate these men. Mazerbull, thank you for the 12 months. I hate the content. It's like people who are controlling in general are just scumbags, just terrible people. Anyone who's trying to control you, just a terrible person. But content creators who are controlling, no offense to her, why did she date this bitch? You have to understand that, like, it's hard to see red flags when you first start dating someone. And you're kind of blinded by your temporary, like, honeymoon phase infatuation. And you know the good things about this person. And so when they do bad things, you give them a lot of benefit of the doubt. I promise you, every single person Hapo, thank you. Every single person who stays in an abusive relationship for a period of time, the reason that they don't leave is because they remember all of the things that make them happy and they don't want to leave. Nobody wants to break up and lose their relationship. And so there's a bit of like a coping period where it's like, I don't know if I can make this person change the things that I don't like so that I can keep the things that I do like, especially if you're younger. And someone else brought up a good point. Shitty people are very good at hiding that they're shitty people. Okay. Has he done his response stream yet? No. For anyone tuning in, I saw a couple of people asking what's up. This is not about George Not Found. We covered the George Not Found stuff, but this is tangential to the George Not Found stuff. This is someone that goes by Andy, and she was dating Minecraft YouTuber Punz, and she's detailing how he was a racist piece of shit. And she details some of the stuff that George Not Found has done. So that's why we're reading it and covering it and stuff. It continues saying, he would berate me a lot, not just due to getting heat online, although he did do that a lot. He did do that a lot. In general, whenever we would get into an argument or a disagreement, he would always call me names like annoying or weird or stupid. If I was dating a man that called me stupid, I think I would just I would just be in prison, I think. Unless it was like very obviously a joke because I couldn't figure out something very simple because I was like high or something. I don't know. Like it's very clearly a joke. Just straight. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Go straight to jail after what I would do. Oh my God. You've been around for at least 3 months and you've never subbed, but you have 999 messages in my chat and they're all annoying. So I think it's time for us to say goodbye to you, Ambrios. You're also a LOL user, which is one of the worst crimes that you can commit. And the reason I'm banning you is it's because you're kind of a fucking moron. I'll have you know, because you said average feminist response. I'll have you know, I could hate women. Fuck all them hoes and bitches. And I still would never let someone I'm dating call me stupid. Okay? Because I have self-respect. And then a nice rape joke. Excellent. All right. Goodbye. I always hated you, and you were always a piece of shit in my chat. But I thought maybe we could save you and we could rehabilitate you. Unfortunately, your messages only got worse as your comfort increased. And so it is time for us to set you down into the dirt 6 feet under. Goodbye, sir. I tried to do the salute and I just hit the microphone because I'm a page. Moving on. We had a whole ass funeral for that chatter. Yeah. It makes me sad inside though when I can't rehabilitate chatters. It does. Vinny Smooth, thank you for the tier 1. Supporting or feeding, thank you for the prime. Thank you guys. Okay, continuing. All right. He would raise his voice at me if I did anything he didn't like and call me an idiot. And that really hurt. I felt like I couldn't bring anything to him or do anything without getting insulted. If I hadn't seen him in a few days seen him in a few days because he was too busy streaming, and I asked to hang out, he would call me needy, clingy, and annoying. Granted, he might not have been wrong, but that is not something you say to someone that you claim to love. He also insulted me when I was in depressive episodes. Like, dude, you should be thankful if your hoes, if you're bitches, or singular bitch, wants to spend all of her time with you. And guess what? There's a way to say, get away from me without being a fucking asshole. You can just say, hey, can I just get some alone time? I just want to sit on my computer and just like turn the fuck off and just sit here with my thoughts. But I appreciate you wanting to spend time with me. Can you imagine you have GF that love and want to spend time with you, and this is how you treat that? Granted, he might not have been wrong. Okay, and then we said, he also insulted me when I was in depressive episodes. I have BPD, and at the time I was not being treated properly for it, so I was all over the place emotionally, and he was what I clung to for validation, reassurance, and love. I talked to him when we first started dating about my disorder, and I told him that if it seemed like something he couldn't handle, he could opt out of the relationship. I guess he didn't really think it was bad or something, because whenever I did have really bad episodes, he would tell me I was too sad to hang out with. He said that my sadness was a burden to him, which would be fair, but once my mother had a conversation with him about me, she told him that I am someone who needs a lot of love and caring. She said that if he wasn't willing to put that kind of effort into a relationship, to just leave me alone. He reassured her that he would be there for me no matter what. He told my mother that he would protect me and my heart. He did not. He took all the warnings I gave him and ignored them, and then made me feel like I was the problem. And even worse, he would say that I was pretending to be sad to get his attention when he would neglect for days at a time. Everyone I know who has BPD has described it as being absolutely terrible. When you're in the depressive episode, it is one of the worst experiences of your life. To be in that position and have the emotional intelligence and the mental clarity to tell someone else, hey, I have BPD, and it is something that requires a lot of attention. And I understand if that's not something that you're interested in, and that's not something that you can handle in a relationship. Because I am requesting a lot. And it is a lot of mental effort. And I don't expect everyone to be capable of dealing with that. But I don't want you, I need to hear you tell me that that's something you can do. To have the intelligence, the emotional intelligence to do that, and the maturity to do that, and get this in return is so fucking bullshit. There were also smaller things like the fact that he made me feel really guilty whenever he would spend money on me. Also, he'd be really mean about my eating habits. For context, I used to suffer from an eating disorder. I was anorexic and I had a really unhealthy relationship with food during high school and my first year of uni. This relationship began when I was recovering from my eating disorder. For me, eating was really hard, so I had certain comfort foods, while sometimes unhealthy. At least it was something to eat when I didn't feel like eating anything. He knew this, yet whenever I would crave some of these foods, he would call me fat. So just so you guys can, not that it matters, to be very clear, what is she reading, guys? I just came. Dude, too much information. Way too much information in this chat, man. Way too much information. Stop. I'm just kidding. Yes, we are talking about someone that goes by the name Andy and her experiences with this racist piece of shit, Punz, Minecraft YouTuber.
Go ahead, baby.
Why TikTok? Why? This is who he's calling fat. To be clear, it is never acceptable to tell someone with an eating disorder things that could help bring the eating disorder back. And it's definitely not okay to make fun of your partner for being fat, even if they are fat. Exacerbate it? Yeah. Escalating the disorder? Yeah. Calling an anorexic person fat is attempted murder? I was diagnosed with BPD. In my case, it was borderline and not bipolar, but it is a motherfucker, and I am only now being treated for it correctly. I don't know who this girl is, but I feel so bad for her. Yeah. It's one of those, BPD is one of those things, BPD and BD for the record, one of those things that you really do need to go see a psychiatrist, and the medication is very, 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 very helpful. From the people I have personally spoke to who've had to deal with it, yeah. So continuing, because he would be a piece of shit if he was calling his girlfriend who did maybe gain weight fat, because that's, you're making fun of a fat one. Sorry, I read a chat message that distracted me, and so I said fat one, but that's not what I meant to say. I read something that said no one, and I apologize. That was misspeak. I don't know why I was reading chat while I was trying to say my thoughts. If you're making fun of someone that's fat for being fat, you're a piece of shit. And if you're making someone for being fat who has an eating disorder, you're a piece of shit. But if you call someone fat who has an eating disorder and isn't fat, you are a parasitic piece of shit. Like, you are on another level. Like, you are using your power to make that other person feel bad when you know that that's not the case. All right. Continuing. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. Constantly told me I'd gain weight from eating all that junk food. Saying that to someone with an eating disorder is crazy. Other smaller things were that whenever I would post TikToks where I was lip syncing or just looking good, he would yell at me and say I was looking for attention. Just say that you're jealous because she was 10 times more attractive than you, and she was out of your league. Just say that. Just say that. Just say it, man. It's okay. Just say it. Same with Instagram or Twitter. Whenever I would post photos where I looked hot, he never planned out a single date for us. I would beg him to get me flowers, and he did maybe once, but I'll get into that in a little bit. He would make fun of me in front of his friends to make himself look better. He let his friends say really degrading things about me in his presence. For example, once when I was showering, I overheard him on a Discord call with George not found, and Sapnap, and I heard George say, if you don't go in the shower and have sex with Andy, I will. And this is why I said that this is tangentially related to the George not found allegations. And I think it helps paint a better picture of the type of person that George not found is. Once when I was really struggling with my legs, for those of you who don't know, I have arthritis and it's very painful. At the time I was diagnosed, but I was in a lot of pain. I literally could not walk. I had to beg him to take me to the ER because I didn't know what was wrong with me. He didn't want to take me, but eventually I convinced him. While we were there, all he did was complain about how long it was taking and that he'd rather be home streaming. Whenever I would talk about my interests that I was excited about, like before I get into the interest part, if you're, I hate to be someone that posts on like our relationships, but if you tell the person you're dating that you are in severe pain and you're asking them to take you to the ER or even urgent care, and you're telling someone that it's really painful, if they do not take you immediately, like he's a fucking streamer, YouTuber, Minecrafter. He doesn't even have real job hours. He can choose to not stream and take his girlfriend if he wanted to, or he could just stream in an hour or whatever. If you have the time, like you're not doing anything else, and you're complaining, first of all, go fuck yourself. Second of all, anyone who is dealing with that, you need to leave that person immediately. because that's unacceptable. That is someone who doesn't care about you. I don't know what says I don't care about you more than I am in so much physical pain that I'm requesting you take me to the ER. Me personally, when I'm dating people, when they tell me that they're in severe pain, I immediately drop everything. Because I care about them, because I have basic human empathy. I'm pretty sure Gus Johnson did the same thing. Yeah. And that's why we hate Gus Johnson here, because he's a fucking piece of shit. Where can you find this? This is on Tumblr. I can post it in chat for you. Fuck that guy. Oh, if I ever see that guy in person, I fucking scream at that piece of shit. Ugh, hate that guy. Blech. Anyways, for anyone who doesn't know, Gus Johnson was a YouTuber, real piece of shit guy. His girlfriend at the time, good friend of mine. She is one of the sweetest people on the planet, like literally does not have a mean bone in her body. The number of chances that I've seen her give people, the amount of leeway she gives people around her is just, she's I think the nicest person I've ever met in my life. And she was dealing with an ectopic pregnancy, which is when you have a fertilized egg in your fallopian tube, and it is going to grow and grow and grow until your fallopian tube bursts and you die of internal bleeding. It's very serious. It's fatal if it's untreated. And she was dealing with that, and she was having extreme pain, and he literally didn't believe her. And she went to so many doctors, and none of them were believing her. And they were like, just take some Tylenol and go home. And it wasn't until it literally ruptured that she was in such severe pain. She asks Gus, this fucking subhuman piece of garbage, to take her. And he's like, oh, but I promised I was going to go get beers with the bros. It's me and the YouTube bros. We're gonna go get some beers and talk about content and stuff. So she drives herself to the hospital. They tell her what is going on, and they tell her that she hadn't showed up sooner, she might have died from internal bleeding. And then she drives herself back home. Like, you have to be a serious piece of shit for someone in your life to tell you that that they are in severe pain, and you write it off and you're like, yeah, no, you're not. Men or women, by the way. Which is why we hate Gus here. Fuck that guy. If I ever see you in person, I'm gonna fucking tear you a new one. I promise it. Ugh. Anyways, apologies. Is Gus still doing content? I think he's trying to rebrand to like the fucking incels on the internet. Gus Fring. Yeah, Gus Fring. Anywho. And she's such a nice person. She's when I say she's the nicest person I've ever met, I mean she's the nicest person I've ever met. To do that to someone who is so sweet, you have to be because honestly, I expect the person I date to argue with me because I love to argue. It's so fun. So fun to argue. I love being a little bit of a cunt sometimes. I enjoy it, okay? As long as it's mutually fun for everybody, nothing like a good argument. So I get it. I would get it. I get it if someone was like, whatever. But to someone so sweet and so nice, ugh. Moving on. Excuse me. Sorry. I get defensive and I get protective of my friends. Continuing. Whenever I would talk about my interests that I was excited about, like shows or books, he would be incredibly uninterested and say that those things were stupid and he didn't want to hear about them. Bro, you play Minecraft. How old is this guy? Sir, you are 27 years old and you play Minecraft and you think you have any grounds to make fun of other people's hobbies? I play Minecraft. There's nothing wrong with enjoying Minecraft, but do not pretend like your hobbies are better than other people's hobbies when you play Minecraft. Continuing. I know that these all seem very silly, or they are not silly. If you see this, Andy, they are not silly. Cumulatively. Sorry. Serious. It's important. They might seem very silly or superficial, but cumulatively, it was awful. Now, for the arguably the most serious thing I'm going to talk about, I want to preface this by saying I'm just telling my side of what happened. You can come to your own conclusions about this. On April 25th, 2022, it was our 1-year anniversary, and I had made dinner reservations for us. I expected him to plan something throughout the day for us to do. He told me he was going to spend the whole day playing Valorant. So I got upset and I canceled the reservation. After a very heated argument, we calmed down and I asked him to come over. He came over about an hour later with flowers and drinks. I was 20 at the time, so I couldn't buy drinks myself. He bought Smirnoffs and Trulies. For context, I am a lightweight. I always have been. I literally get tipsy on half a cocktail. And that day I hadn't eaten anything because I was in distress over our argument. So we get to talking and drinking. I blacked out after my second Smirnoff. I apparently drank 3, but I genuinely can't remember anything after finishing the second one. The next morning, I woke up naked in my bed. I woke up and asked, Luke, why am I naked? And he said, quote, because you didn't want to put your clothes back on. When I clarified that that's not what I meant, he got defensive and said he didn't realize how drunk I was. He proceeded to tell me that I initiated sex with him and that I was very enthusiastic about it. He said he didn't know how I could black out on 3 Smirnoffs. He made fun of me for being a lightweight and continued to make light of the situation. Then he mentioned that I fell off the bed at some point in the night and that it was funny how drunk it was. I was. I then questioned him because if he thought that me tripping and falling off the bed because I was so drunk was funny, how did he not know that I was too drunk? He responded by saying that I fell off the bed only after we were done. That day, I broke up with him. I'm still really confused about what happened that night. I don't remember anything, and all I have to go on is what he said to me. We were in a relationship at the time, and he says he didn't know how drunk I was, so I'm not sure what to call what happened. A while after that day, his friend that hit me up while we were broken up and I started talking again, and I confided in him about that night. He told me to be careful saying things like that because they could get me in trouble. I spoke to some of our other friends, and they told me it was no big deal and that it wasn't his fault and that he didn't know how drunk I really was because I don't remember. I've been led to believe that this is not a serious matter. You can think what you want, come to whatever conclusions you want. This is just my side of the story. I want to add that I'm not proud of how I acted after the relationship ended. Want to come sit, Erica? Want to come sit? He's blocking my screen, so I can't see. You want to come sit? He just wants to sit on the desk. He don't fuck with you. No, he does. He does fuck with me. He sits on me all the time. Okay, fuck you. That's rape. I'm gonna just say it. I'm sad to know and see that so many people around her have convinced her that it's not a big deal. Clearly, from everything else we've been told, this is a selfish piece of shit. I don't see why someone who is so selfish wouldn't be selfish about this. Yeah, if you see this, Andy, do not let people convince you that this is not a big deal. He knew and he didn't care. And you can tell, I'm going to say it, if you are so drunk, you black out, everyone around you can see that you are way too drunk. It's the most obvious thing ever. Yes. Like they can't even speak. I've hung out with friends who they haven't even blacked out or browned out, and they're so drunk, they're like, we're going to. It's like, oh, you're drunk, aren't you? You're a little drunk. Oh, let's get you to bed. What is browning out? When you can remember some parts, but not everything? Because you literally can't speak coherently when you're blacking out. It's not a thing. Moving on. I want to add that I'm not really proud of how I acted after the relationship ended. I felt really angry at all the shit that he put me through. And I guess a part of me wanted him to hurt even a quarter of how I did. So I started talking to his friends and I got involved with him. This backfired. I started talking to his friend and got involved with him. This backfired on me because his friend ended up really hurting me too. So I guess I got my karma. But the thing that hurt me the most is that because of what I did, some of our friends took his side in the breakup. Let's see. You sleep with someone else's friend to get back at them versus rape. I wonder which one is worse. I wish it wasn't so difficult to tell which one was worse. It's just hard to tell. Yeah, maybe it's a cunt move to do that, to be like, fuck you, I'm gonna go sleep with your friends. Fuck you. Yeah, that's a pretty cunt move. I'll admit. I won't sugarcoat. Oh, it's not fucking rape. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. Continuing. We're almost done, by the way. The thing that hurt me the most is because of what I did, some of our friends took his side in the breakup. I was told something terrible by getting involved with his friend that he was already insecure about, and he didn't deserve that. These are the same friends who were witness to the dumpster fire of a relationship we had and all the things he did to me. They turned their backs on me because of this one thing I did, but stood by and watched as he treated me like garbage for over a year. I will conclude this by saying that while this relationship has been over and done with for almost 2 years now, I carry a lot of trauma from it still. I still talk about him in therapy and have had to put in a lot of work to heal from what he did, and I still cannot say that I'm okay. I'm very blessed to now have a patient and understanding partner who has helped me heal from that trauma, and I just want to quickly thank him for that. Nobody deserves to go through what I did. While yes, it was a toxic relationship and I had part in that, it does not excuse all the awful things that he said and did to me, and this is my truth. Thank you for taking the time to read it. Sorry if the formatting is all over the place. Mark Solotl, thank you so much for the 5 months. Denims made the point one is objectively worse. It's just, you can't, those are not comparable things. Like, just think about it. What would you rather happen to you? Waking up, not remembering anything that happened the night before, being naked? Or finding out that your ex slept with one of your friends? Considering that one of them is literally a crime, it's literally a criminal act. The not knowing is worse because it would be so fucking scary. Yeah. Also, people not even cheating either. Yeah, I mean, they were broken up. Like, I've woken up naked in bed with an ex and no memory of the night before. And as a man, let me tell you, it was a horrible experience. Aw, Kit, thank you. Rainary, thank you for the tier 1. Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I'm talking men and women. Waking up naked in a bed and not remembering anything, that is a terrifying experience. But like finding out that your ex slept with a friend to get back at you, it's like, you're a cunt. You are a bitch. You know that? You're fucking, this is pathetic. This is childish. This is beneath you. These are significantly different things. And cliche because it happens all the time. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has dick moments. Everyone in here has done it, except for the people that are about to type, not me, smile. Everyone in here has done a dick thing in their life. I have. I know that I have. All my friends have. Everyone has. It's going to happen. To err is human. Not everyone can be a mature adult all the time. And that's okay. And we should forgive people. Shouldn't we be mad about the friend that slept with their friend's ex? Probably. I'm sorry, what is this on the screen next to you? This? This is a Tumblr post from someone named Andy. This person here. Talking about their experience with their ex, who goes by, sorry, I'm just trying to lower the volume. Sorry, excuse me. It's a Tumblr post from this person, Andy, talking about their experience with their ex-boyfriend, Punz, who is a Minecraft YouTuber. And it came out recently after all of the Georgia Not Found stuff has come up. In 8th grade, I stole some girl's Kit Kat and the class had to stay 10 minutes after school, all because of me. You're a monster. You are a monster. Karma will come for you, bitch. So, I don't know about you guys, but this stuff is always really convoluted for me. So let me put together, let me compile all of the information that we have in an easy way. And then I want to go see if he's started streaming yet. I don't think he has. He said he would stream today. Clock's a ticking, bitch. Let's see you let's see what you got, man. Let's see what lies you're going to come up with. But so okay. Quick catch up for anyone who hasn't been around. When's the stream? He just said he was going to stream today. He didn't say when. He said he was going to stream today, probably now like 18, 19 hours ago. Now let's get into it really quickly. So everything started with this. Where did I put it? No, I misplaced it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Someone named Shubble made did a stream. This is Shubble, also known as Shelby, talking about her experience with Minecraft YouTuber Wilbur Suit. She did not mention him by name. She simply said that she wanted to talk about her experiences being in an abusive relationship, especially a physical abusive relationship where she was just covered in bruises head to toe. And then after she made that statement, a few other people found the courage to talk about their experiences with Minecraft YouTubers, because for some reason all of the people are Minecraft YouTubers. Where did I put it? Okay, sorry, excuse me. After that, this person Katie Bugs came out and also did not list anyone by name, but she came out and spoke about Minecraft YouTuber George Not Found. And she also did not list him by name. Jesus Christ. She also did not list him by name, but given the fact that her friends are liking posts saying, fuck George Not Found, and given the fact that immediately after she went on stream and talked about her experience, he posted online, I will do a stream talking about everything. We have pretty good reason to believe that it is him. And she basically detailed that he sexually assaulted her when she was 18 and very drunk. And then after that had come out, somebody else that goes by the name Andy apologies to any of the women if I'm picking photos that you do not want me to pick to show. I'm just trying to help people keep track of everybody. In my experience, having physical images of the people makes it a little bit easier for me. So sorry if I'm not picking the best pictures for you. But this person, Andy, came out and spoke about yet another Minecrafter YouTuber that goes by the name Punz. And described her relationship with her ex-boyfriend Punz. and how much of, oh, Jesus. Fucking Christ. Terrifying. And that is what we have talked about today. That's what we've talked about. So just for a quick recap, Shelby and Wilbur were dating. Andy and Punz were dating, and they were both in abusive relationships where they were either sexually or physically abused. And this person, Katie, was sexually assaulted and groped by who we believe is George Not Found. We have very good reason to believe that the person that they're talking about is George Not Found. These people are confirmed. It is confirmed that Andy is talking about Punz. It is confirmed that Shelby was talking about Wilbur's suit, but it is not 100% confirmed that Katie is talking about George Not Found, but we have very, very good reason to believe that it is George Not Found based on peripheral evidence. I just don't want anyone to get confused with thinking that I'm making allegations about certain people that I'm not making allegations about. Doesn't the dream tweet basically confirm George? Yeah. There's also a girl named Alice who was in a bad relationship with Wilbur. I'm not surprised as well. I'm not surprised. I mean, people who are abusers abuse a lot of people. It's not that there are a lot of people that have dealt with abuse, and it's not that there's a lot of abusers out there. It's that the people who abuse do it a lot and to a lot of people. They're serial abusers. And I mean, I stand, you know, you can have whatever opinion you want personally, but I stand by my worldview that most people are good. And it's that the bad people do a lot of bad. I will say, you guys know I'm the last person to defend Dream. All right. However, I want to be very clear. Nothing so far that has come out has been against Dream. None of the victims have blamed Dream for anything. None of the victims have claimed that Dream put them in this. I think it's very important to listen to the victims and not use their stories as an opportunity to start blaming and shaming people we don't like, because there's valid reasons to dislike Dream. And if you do that, that is fair. But it is, I think, important to give victims the respect they deserve and not just try and use their story for your motives or for your intentions or for your desires or whatever. Why hasn't George started the stream yet? Because he's watching this one and he's pissing and shitting in his boots. That's why. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why. Probably talking to a fucking lawyer, I would guess, honestly, because I don't know why he would be. Don't shift the focus away from the harm that's caused to the victims. Yes, exactly. One of George's best friends posted this statement on their private account, and I'd say that it's enough. I just want to send out a message and say that I 100% support Katie. I want to finish my subathon because it's something I promised to my community. I'll talk about it when I'm ready, but honestly, I feel very afraid. I want to make it clear I had no idea about this whatsoever. Hannah is one of the few Minecrafters that I've actually spoken to. And I love her, and she is so sweet. I don't watch Minecraft streams in the same way that I assume she doesn't watch political streams. We're just different communities, audiences, hobbies, etc. But Hannah Rose she is a genuinely very, very sweet person. Every interaction I've ever had with her has always been very positive. And she actually was one of the people who came out and told people to believe Shelby when she came out and spoke about Wilbursuit. And she said, like, you can believe her. She's telling the truth. And we should be supporting her and we should be in her corner because, yeah. You heard it here first. The political Minecraft server market is untapped. Yeah. These are my favorite type of people, by the way, guys. The people who have no idea what's going on, but immediately feel the need to go and defend the men in a situation. It feels like people are quick to jump on someone. We could be blaming an entirely innocent guy, and the actual abuser is getting off scot-free. Whereas if you listened, if you just spent 2 seconds actually listening to what these women had to say, you would realize that the chance that they are lying is so unbelievably slim. Not to mention, even legally, I believe false rape accusations in our legal system make up less than, what's the number? It's a very small percentage of cases in the legal system that are false allegations because it's just not something that people do. There's no benefit to false allegations unless it's less than 2%, I think. So it's around 2%. And it's very important that when those things happen, we should show our support for the person whose name and career was like besmirched by some bad actor. And we should call those people out for being pieces of shit because every person who makes a false accusation cheapens the statements that come out from people who actually have had real experiences, real traumatic experiences. And fuck those people. And I will name and shame those people. And I will say mean things about people who make false accusations because they are ruining the, I don't know if you could even still call it this, but like Me Too movement or whatever. Go name, thank you for the 6 months. And Limbo, thank you for the gift. Did you see the Keemstar tweet? Oh, I wish I was following the Diddy case. I'm not following it, so I don't know a lot about it. Didn't Gumball's voice actor say Dream invited all the Minecrafters to his hotel room where the sexual assault against Katie took place? I don't know if he said that or not, but I will say one of Katie's friends, she verified the story that Dream put out that he was not the person who invited the 18-year-old girl to get drunk, that somebody else invited it. So I trust if she, unless Katie herself comes out and says that that person is not my friend, I'm going to trust that her friend isn't lying and that Dream did not actually invite them. He's going live soon? Is he? How do you know? There was another, I guess, I don't know if you would even call this technically a twit longer, but a twit longer, I guess, that came out. About someone named Chris, Kris, but I don't know who this person is. I don't know who they're talking about. 18 is legal to drink in the UK, guys. I mean, 18 is legal to go get your titties groped consensually. The key word there is consensually. There's just a difference between someone who's 18 years old getting blasted drunk and someone else taking advantage of someone that doesn't have life experiences and is a fan. Criminal pink. They did specify not Chris from Mr. Beast. Yeah, I don't know what Chris this is. I'm not sure who this is, but it's not the Mr. Beast Chris. They said it's not them. I just don't know who that is. There's another girl named Alice who dated Wilbur and spoken out about sexual assault. I mean, I believe Shovel. I just don't. Her stream on the topic was, it was too genuine. It was too genuine. It was backed up by even Dream. Dream himself wrote out a fucking essay saying, fuck you, Wilbur. You know what you did. I forgot where I was going with that. Sorry. I apologize. Jazz Dog, they're not talking about that Chris, though. My abuser isn't Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast. I don't know what Chris they're talking about because it's not that one. And I don't know any other Chris's. So I'm not sure. Chatters who don't understand age-related power dynamics need to have their search history publicized. I mean, just like, I don't know, for all of the people in here who are like 25 or older, I feel like you know now as like an older adult or whatever, the difference between you and an 18-year-old. Like I don't hang out with 18-year-olds actually. If I was to hang out with 18-year-olds, I don't even know any 18-year-olds. If I was to hang out with an 18-year-old, I would be very conscious of making sure that they didn't get too drunk. Let's say we're in the UK and it's legal and all that. And I would be very conscious to make sure that they were safe. I would be concerned for them because in my head, I'm like, you have just barely turned into an adult. You don't have the life experiences and like the wisdom to guide you to make all of the right decisions and take care of yourself in the right way. As a 20-year-old, I literally feel uncomfortable when I go to parties and there's grown-ass people like 25 plus. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm too young to be there. Yeah. As a 25-year-old, I feel so ridiculously uncomfortable drinking with an 18-year-old. Yeah, and it's because it's like, I'm 26. Last time I talked to an 18-year-old, I literally felt my paternal instincts. Now, don't get me wrong. If you get on like, I don't know, Grindr and you're like, yo, I'm just trying to get a quick hookup, okay? I'm in Colorado for 1 week. I'm just trying to get some quick hookups. Yeah, there's probably not really a power dynamic there. The 18-year-old that's on that app, okay, you both consent, everything. No one is too drunk or anything. Maybe you had like one beer. You're both like you're fine or whatever. And then you never speak to each other again. Okay. Yeah, sure. It's fine. It's fine. I don't really care about that. But when you're literally taking advantage of someone else, it goes from being kind of weird to you are insane. That's oh, the person in the screen said that the person is a boy that they knew from high school, not a YouTuber or a streamer or anything. Oh, so this is more of like a explaining their situation, showing people warning signs, that sort of thing. Like I myself, I don't know. The 2 times I've had a dating app, I only go like 2 years apart. Like 2 years under me. 'Cause I think it's I don't know, I think it's weird. I'm like, "Oh, that's weird. I don't what do I have in common with an 18-year-old? Nothing." Ah! But I wouldn't like I wouldn't call someone like a predator if they happened to fucking match with someone and it was just a one night stand thing or whatever. Because you're not really there's not a whole lot of power dynamic issues there versus like dating someone that's 18 or this situation. I was 32. I went on a casual date with a 21-year-old. I made an effort to communicate and ask for explicit consent every step of the way. It was sort of a vibe killer, but with the age gap, I felt it was necessary with the unspoken power dynamics. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like that's basically what I'm talking about. As long as you're careful, you're making sure that like you are not using your power over this person who's younger than you and doesn't know better. Yeah, sure. However, if your dating app settings literally say 18 to 21 and you're 30, now you're a predator. Now you're a predator. But if you don't have any age gap or anything, like you just didn't set those parameters and you get matched with someone, you're like, I don't think you're a predator at that point. Like that's not. Leo DiCaprio, yeah. Stop it. Stop. We met at a concert and I thought she was like 27. When she said 21, I was very careful from there on. Yeah, because you're an adult and you're a responsible adult and you're not a piece of shit. I'm an inverse Leo DiCaprio. I set my minimum age to 25. Oh gosh, yeah. Mhm. Mhm. My nephew recently turned 19. I talked to him about the importance of consent, especially in situations of intoxication. I told him that if his friends give him shit about doing the right thing, they're not his friends and he needs to drop people like that. It can be difficult because he lives in Indianapolis and I live in SoCal. So I'm the only positive male figure he has in his life. Good for you. You are a good, you say nephew? You're a good uncle. You are a good uncle. I'm 29, not even interested in talking to people under 25. Like, bro, what the fuck are you going to talk to? Or sorry, what the fuck are you going to talk about with an 18-year-old? What? Tell me. The weather. Minecraft. Oh, fuck. Oh.
I set my age range 18 to 99 because I'm desperate, and it's not problematic because I've never had a match Denims.
Good joke. Very funny. Very funny. You got me. You got me. You got me. All right, let me clean up some of these tabs a little bit. Okay. Well, I don't plan to sit here and like fucking wait for George Not Found to go live, mostly because that feels like farming content and I don't like doing that. I'll farm content when it comes to like making fun of Tim Pool. Don't get me, I'll wait hours to make fun of Tim Pool. Nah, that's fine. That's fine with me. Farming content on like things that are really serious like this, it's not that serious to me. It's just when he makes his statement, when he gets on stream and he says what he says, which if he even does, we can cover it then. Plus, I have not literally a date, but the figure of speech, a date with my friend, Sabrina. We're going to hang out or something. She said she's bringing something to my apartment that needs to get built as a surprise. So I'm like, ooh, I wonder what it is. I'm so excited. And that's like in about an hour. So I have to clean because my apartment is really dirty. There's just a lot of like laundry all over the place and like papers and just stuff that needs to get organized. No moldy food, luckily, no Asmongold type of shit. Don't worry. But I am going to go do that. Oscars are tonight. Oh, Oscars are tonight. Go watch Caroline's coverage of the Oscars. Forgot about the Oscars. Yeah, Caroline is the place to go. Twitch.tv/Caroline Kwan. If anyone here wants to learn more about the Oscars. Because she knows all of the everything about it. She's bringing an unassembled 1977 Kalashnikov Kalashnikov rifle for you to build and give to Wormy. Yes. Yeah. Definitely, for sure. I think she said she's actually going to bring Wormy a fucking manned turret. If Sabrina's a true friend, she won't judge you for your messiness. She is, and she doesn't judge me for my messiness. But as a host, as a good host, I must clean and go to the store and get some snacks and stuff. Can I ask what Punz did? Just for you, because I love the chatters. Okay, I love all chatters. He basically was just this very emotionally abusive, and honestly, rapist. And he was ousted by his ex-girlfriend who spoke about how he treated her terribly. She's in like debilitating pain and he's like refusing to take her to the ER and complaining about it the entire time because I could stream instead. He also said he doesn't find people who are too dark attractive. So a little bit racist as well. Just a little bit of fun little bit of racism. Not liking people that are dark. Just a little bit of racism. And also she described a situation where she got incredibly drunk to the point where she blacked out. And when she woke up, she was naked in bed. Which is rape. She got drunk off of the drinks he brought. Yes, he brought some drinks with him. She got blackout drunk. And again, any normal person, the chatter I just banned is not normal. Any normal person, when someone is blackout drunk, you can tell. they can't walk straight. They can't even speak correctly. There's no if, and, or but. I have never once thought that a drunk person was sober. And he knew she was drunk and he didn't care. Their eyes glaze over. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And generally any normal people who are in that situation when your friend gets super drunk, I'm sure everyone has that one messy friend. You go to the clubs and the bars or whatever. And that one friend of yours, the one messy bitch, she's like, I had 7 shots. And you're like, we're taking you home. We're taking you home. So everyone here can tell when someone is way too drunk. And he just didn't care. And any normal person, when they see someone that drunk, it's like, let's get you in bed. Let's get you a glass of water. Here's the painkillers for tomorrow morning when you have a terrible hangover. I will see you in the morning. A lot of weirdos in chat today. You have to understand that, like, a lot of people who get very, like, dare I say, triggered over this stuff, they say what they say and they act the way that they do and they excuse this type of behavior and they're like, well, what if he was drunk too? Like, what if blah, 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 blah. Well, how do we even know that he did that? Well, those are people who either themselves have done that or they have good friends who have done that and they need a way to cope about it instead of just accepting that this is someone that is a piece of shit and they're doing bad behavior and they're engaging in bad behavior. I was at a TwitchCon party a few years ago with a bunch of streamers and no one knew I blacked out because I was just in the corner on my phone. The giveaway was asking how I walked down the stairs. But yes, very easy to tell when someone is blacked out. Yes. I mean, if you just talk to a person that's blacked out, you will immediately be able to tell. And all the people who come in and they're like, I just don't know if that's true or not. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, so you're either a rapist or you're friends with a rapist. It's only one of the two. Because I don't know what anyways, that's enough for today. Thank you everybody for coming to the stream. And if any of the victims, any of the women see this stream, I just want to say thank you for your bravery. Thank you for speaking up. It's not easy, and I know you're going to deal with harassment, and I'm sorry that you have to deal with harassment. You have to deal with people that are not going to believe you. But just know that there are a lot of people that will believe you, that you are doing the right thing, and that you are helping other people. Because every single one of these pieces of shit that gets ousted for being a sexual predator now loses the ability to continue to be a sexual predator. So I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for speaking out about that stuff because it's not easy. And there are people in your corner. There are people that love you and there are a lot of people that believe you and a lot of people that support you. If any of them see this.